Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and if you just joined us, if you're new to this site, the whole idea here is that the listings are out there. We try and get them to you faster because we're plugged right into the broker system, and then also we try and interpret and tell you some things that you wouldn't know just by looking at the MLS listing. Maybe it's sales in the area, maybe it's a little bit of an impression or something we see in the photos just from seeing so many. Maybe we've gone to see it in person and we have a bit of a perspective about how it smells or what the neighbors are doing and so on. So we're going to start off, there's 10 today. We're going to start off on Prosser Circle, 3849. It's a Brent Grove End, and so it's just under 1,300 square feet. Nice finishes. Really, the finishes are the only comparison point because the yards are all the same. They only have a front yard. There's no backyard here. And so this is the only model with an eat-in kitchen. And so it's a 3-bedroom version, and there's only one full bathroom up on the top floor. It does have a sloping hill. It's called a berm, and behind the berm is the train tracks. Now, people that live on Prosser, and I actually sold this house right here, say, you know what, your heating ducts are actually louder than the train, but obviously if you're sitting on your balcony here, you're going to hear it. So different thoughts about that. Some people like the fact that you don't see anybody in front of you. You don't have neighbors on the other side. It's just kind of nice green space. 3-bedroom version. Not a lot of difference in value between the 2 and 3-bedroom version because I guess the argument is 3 might appeal to a little bit more people. So if you have more bedrooms, if you're a 4-bedroom versus 3 bedrooms, it kind of has a little bit more appeal, but not enough to substantially change the value because there are people that would rather have 3 larger bedrooms than 4 smaller ones. So, you know, I tend to like the 2-bedroom version of this home better than the 3. I find the 2nd and 3rd bedrooms are a little bit small, but if you need the 3, you have the 3 and you go for it. So we've seen a couple of those sales in the 380s, so I don't think they're that far off on price given what's sold recently. Bell Street the photos are very small. I don't know why or how this happens, but it does. It actually looks like a good home. If you click the virtual tour link, you can check it out. It's basically a 2-bedroom bungalow with no garage, right? So those are the value points here. How big is it? How many bedrooms? And then does it have the parking outside? What's the parking situation? 100 by 65. Pretty good access to downtown. It's sort of right in the heart of the old part. The 2-bedroom is the only thing that would concern me on this because there's a substantial size difference. Now I wonder, looking at the kitchen shots, how they have that little archway into like a dining room, if they actually took that 3rd bedroom and opened it up in order to have that dining area. Hard to say without seeing it in person. Once you start getting into the 430, 440 range, you start seeing stuff like Broadway, double garage plus 3 bedrooms in a good looking home. Heslop I don't find is as appealing, but you've got a nice big double car garage with a workshop and a good sized piece of land, a little bit bigger than that for around that price. So Gollins is 429, which is a little bit high for this model. You've got a small kind of front area. It actually looks bigger in person. It does extend out a little bit more. Everything about this home looks better in person. I don't know if I love the photos here. But yeah, this would be a high sale for this model if it did go through. I'm not sure how much grass is in the yard. Gollins, the thing about Gollins, Penton, these streets that are sort of like loop streets south of Weller is on the weekends and evenings, there's a lot of street parking here, so it can feel a little bit congested. But it's a very great area. It's very convenient to get on the highway. The schools are good. There's some good parks close by. You can walk to the library. So a lot of the commercial hub of Milton is either at Thompson Main or Thompson Steeles, and you've got some pretty good access from this location. Scott Boulevard is 438.7, and so it's a 3-story home. Townhouse, it's got a double garage in the back with a deck above. So not really a backyard. You've got laneway access into the garage. You've usually got a main floor they've identified as an office, but it's really just kind of like a rec room. It's basically like an above ground basement, if that makes any sense at all. But Can be good. I've seen it set up where you could even have an in-law or a family member that could live down in that space if you put a little bathroom or kitchenette. Main floor, hardwood floors is all I'm seeing here, but you've got your kitchen, living, dining. Then you have your upstairs with your master and 2 other bedrooms. So most of the time these ones sell around that 430 mark, plus or minus. So without photos, I would say they seem to be in the right range. Murray Meadows is 439. It's a townhouse. I think North Star was the builder here. You've got kind of the same idea as Gollins, is you've got an area here that's a little bit tough to configure because it's so narrow. But you've got this big open space here in the family room. The problem is with that is you're losing second floor space. So this one is only a 2-bedroom home. Great finishes inside. So I'm thinking maybe like a retirement or a downsizer might find some appeal in this one because it's really got some great, nice finishes. But if you need that 3rd bedroom, you're not getting it here. What you get instead is that big open space in the family room, this space right here. And you got to put a fence in, which for a property like this, you normally share the cost with your neighbors, and you're looking at probably about $1,500 to share the cost there. So not a lot to compare to on that one because every townhouse in that price range is pretty much a 3-bedroom. Waters is in the same area as Gollins, so that all the nice convenient things I talked about there. 445 townhouse. This is a 4-bedroom, so 4-bedroom townhouse. You know, right away I'm going under 450 is going to attract attention. There's just not many properties if you need the 4 bedrooms under that 450 mark. And Maplewood almost looks like they have converted a garage to living space. But this one doesn't even have a garage, so at over $550 for a home without a garage is kind of unusual. Again, it's a little bit different. It's an outlier. It's a little bit more subjective when we look at value. The inside looks like it's had some work done to it for sure. Some kind of sloping ceiling effects. It's just I don't know. It's one of those ones that I have a feeling you'd have to see it in person to really kind of catch the value on it. Very hard to review this one and tell you definitively where we think the value sits in because it's so different than the usual. Fourth Line has a massive 173-foot lot. It's very big. They've got kind of a maple leaf blue color on the outside. Fourth Line can be a little bit busier. We do see a little bit of a slide in value because somebody is on Fourth Line. 765.9, and we're looking at a home. I don't know the square footage. I know it's a cost corp home, and it's between that 25 and 3,000 square feet. There's a lot of nighttime shots, and then you've got daytime shots, and it kind of messes with your mental flow of this home. And all the sinks seem to be taken from a bird's eye view there. I don't know, this one here, it's interesting because I bet that if you go through the home, you'd have a different impression than the pictures, which all kind of seem like they're not part of a story. They seem like they're kind of individualized, but that's the value right there. Huge property, lots of privacy here where you're not looking out onto someone else's property. There's a Montessori school nearby. There's the library a couple, maybe like 100, 200 feet away. So there are some very positive things about this location. You're in the Hawthorne Village School District. You're also walking distance to Craig Kilberger School too. So for families, this could really be an ideal location. My advice is just don't let the kids play in the front yard, let them play in the backyard. But really, you have a yard like that, they're not going in the front yard. $765 is the price. 950 Mara Circle is at $959, which is one of the higher prices really in Milton. Like it takes a very special property to hit over $900,000. They bought this home maybe sometime in the last year or two because I remember the old listing. It looks like they've customized these cabinets. Those are not Madame cabinets and the built-ins. So whoever was here before might have been a cabinet builder. It's very ornate. It's very heavy, dark wood. It's impressive though. Crown moldings, pot lights. There's 5 bedrooms here. It's 3,700 square feet plus a finished basement. So you're easily over 5,000 square feet of space. There's a bar, there's other built-in cabinets here. See, that's the sexy shot for the ladies who like their shoes. You have your little handbags and your shoes and everything else. And then check the virtual tour here. So it does back onto Hawthorne Village School. A little bit of a different, there's different perspectives on backing onto a school. Some people like it because evenings, weekends, there's nobody there and it's quite quiet. But during the morning and afternoon rush for the kids, it can be a little bit louder, and you hear the bell ring and all the rest of it. So personal preference on that. We sometimes see a bit of a value shift down, not so much of a value shift up. So it's like you're getting it as a bonus if you like it, and you might get it at a bit of a discount if it's not something that you like. Well, if it's not something you like, you're probably not going to buy it anyway. So Inglis is 1.399, and I believe this same model right at the entrance of the subdivision just sold for $820. So I mean, they're fighting that for sure. It looks like it's got easily $100,000 in landscaping, no question about it. This is nice too, how you have the staircase and the flow. It's a little bit more sort of traditional design, very ornate. So you wonder if that can take away from the impression of the home, that people are seeing the stuff instead of seeing the actual house itself. Tray ceiling up in the master here, crown moldings, finished basement with a second kitchen there, bar. So the thing about this is you can check the virtual tour, you can look at this stuff, you can read all about it. Gotta go check this stuff out. I really like this shot here. I thought that was a great shot. The other thing about this area, the high for the last 2 years in this area is 1.28. So you know, they're certainly fighting the odds just based on the fact that you know, nobody wants to pay the most in the subdivision. So Brookfield School District is Brookfield is the relocation company. Brookville School is very well regarded, and it'd be a great place to send your kids if you've got kids. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call, and we'd be glad to help you with anything related to the buy and sell. A lot of people tend to not know where to start, and so a great way to start is with basically saying, what's the timeline and what's the money stuff, because there's a lot of hidden costs that even if you've done this 5 or 6 times, I've seen a lot of people forget about. So if you want us to come over and just strategize a little bit, be glad to do it. Have a great day.